Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our program briefing. We will wait another couple of minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, for more people to enter the room, and then I shall start, okay? So please get settled, find a seat, get something to drink, get comfortable, and then maybe in 3 more minutes at 2.8, I will begin with the presentation, okay? Thank you. I'll speak to you in a moment. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program briefing for the BA Honours in Visual Arts program. This is a briefing specifically for students who are applying through the JUPAS system for 2022 or next year 2023. So we're trying to provide you with all the information in preparation of your application for our program. Before we start, I would like to make you aware that this program briefing will be recorded. Also, your attendance, which essentially means that you're in this Zoom room, is automatically registered by the Zoom system. So we're not going to do anything about this information. We're not going to use it to contact you. We're not checking on your attendance time or anything like that at all. But you are leaving a digital footprint. So please be aware and please behave or control yourself accordingly. My name is Peter Benz. I am an associate professor at the Academy of Visual Arts. I'm currently also the acting program director for the BA program, and that is the capacity in which I am here this afternoon. At the same time, I'm also the associate director for teaching and learning for the Academy of Visual Arts. And in that capacity, I am responsible for all of our programs, which means the BA, the MA, as well as the PhD programs. I see there's a message in the chat that somebody cannot hear me. Is that only one person, or can you, Chanel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, then maybe Miss Yeung, maybe this is some problem on your side. Could you please check your own settings and see if you can work it out, because it seems the other people can't hear me. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Now, as you can see here, there's an email address by myself, benz@hkbu.edu.hk. If after this meeting you had any questions, or if you wanted to contact me directly about some information, then please feel free to send me a message, send me an email. At the very end of this slideshow, I also have another set of email addresses and contact possibilities where you can also find some more information. So in some cases, it might be actually better to directly contact our office, but you're welcome to contact me. And if necessary, I will pass you on to whoever is the most suitable person or institution to answer your questions. Now, for today, there's two main points that I would like to talk about. The first one is essentially some information about our BA program. So I will be briefly talking about the BA in Visual Arts major. So what do we do? What are the components? What are the parts of this program? I will briefly talk about the non-major courses that all of the BA students have to study also. I will give you a quick overview of the co- and extracurricular activities that we offer at AVA and HKBU. And in the end, give you a bit of an information about the career prospects of our graduates as we see them today. In the second part of my presentation, I will talk about the admission requirements, because as you're here, we assume maybe you want to apply, so it would be good to know what you need for an application. So we will talk about the admission requirements, and one of the requirements is you actually have to do an admission exercise. And that admission exercise has 3 parts: a portfolio, a practical exercise, and an interview. And those I will introduce in the second part of this presentation. So this is the plan for the next maybe 30 minutes, maybe a bit more. Okay. So to start with the BA program information, I show you this picture, and throughout my slideshow, I will show you a number of pictures of artworks or design works as produced by our students. All of these works that you see here are taken from the graduation show of last year. So about 1 year ago, in June of 2021, we had a big graduation exhibition on our campus in Kaitak. And all the works that you will see today are taken from that exhibition. So they may give you some feeling or some information about the kind of work, but also the standard of the work that our students produce at the time when they graduate from the BA program. So you can always find the exact information somewhere down here in the corner. Sometimes it's also in the other corner, but you can see the name and the title of this work in case you wanted to look it up later and find more information. Now, I would like to initially give you, oops, sorry, I jumped one slide. This is taken a quote from our program document, and I would like to read it to you. The BA Honours in Visual Arts program at the Academy of Visual Arts is a professional degree that focuses on intensive practice-led work in the visual arts, supported by a program in general education. It emphasizes creativity, versatility, and intelligent articulation, thus enabling its graduates to enter professional studio-based careers in such fields as studio arts, design, and/or craft after earning the degree. Our BA students have the opportunity to develop technical competencies, informed aesthetic judgment, and an understanding of the context in which contemporary work is created, rooted in the ever-shifting cultural climate of creative production in the studio. Now, this is sort of, in short, in 2 or 3 sentences, what we're trying to achieve with our BA program. And maybe the most important thing to take away is our program is a professional degree. So essentially what we're trying to achieve is we try to prepare the students to enter careers in visual arts, in studio arts, in design, or in craft, and to allow them to be successful in this area. That is the point, that is the aim of everything that we do. Now, when we say professional, we do this based on some benchmarking that we did with other communities. So as you can see here, we have different countries on the very left-hand side, and each of these countries have different bodies, institutions, organizations that accredit visual arts programs. And as you can see, all of them as a definition, or most of them as a definition for a professional visual arts program. They require the program to have at least 65% of the credits dedicated to visual arts, dedicated to the major. So as you can see here, for example, in Canada, it needs to be 65%. In the US, for a professional degree, it has to be 65%. For a liberal arts degree, it needs to be 30 to 45%. So the difference of a professional degree compared to non-professional degrees is essentially how many credits count towards the major. So this is an overview, an international comparison. And now this is the local comparison. And if you see this, you may notice that of all of the local competitors, this is the HKBU BA in Visual Arts. And we are the only program where you actually have 65% of the professional threshold in the major, of the credits in your major, which would be in the visual arts. All of the other competitors, the Chinese Fine Arts, the Chinese University Fine Arts Department, the creative media from City University, as well as the design programs from PolyU, they all have less than us. And strictly speaking, they all do not meet the international benchmark for a professional creative undergraduate program. So we are actually quite proud that we are the only local institution to meet these requirements. So that is one of the reasons why we believe if you are interested to study in Hong Kong, and if you are interested to study visual arts in Hong Kong, you should choose AVA. You should choose HKBU and the Academy of Visual Arts. But also, despite AVA is actually quite young, we only exist for about 15, 16 years, we do very well in international rankings. There is a very important university ranking called the QS World University Ranking. In 2021, that is last year, we ranked among the top 150 art schools in the world out of around 1,700 schools. So that is actually a really impressive achievement, if I may say that. So we're in the top 10% of art schools in the world. Of course, also to study visual arts in Hong Kong at the moment is a very popular thing to do, because there's actually a lot of public policies, a lot of money going into the creative industries. I'm sure you have all heard of the West Kowloon Cultural District. You heard that the M+ Museum for Visual Culture opened in November of last year. The Art Basel is going on at the moment. You can go there this afternoon and have a look. There's Sotheby's and Christie's, big auction houses have set up offices in Hong Kong. The Asia Art Archive is one of the leading sort of research institutions for visual arts in Asia. But also, if you're more interested in design, the Business of Design Week, which will happen in December again. All of these are major global events in the respective fields. And they provide a very rich and very lively context, ecology, for all of you if you are interested to study visual arts or work in the visual arts as a career. So we believe there is good reasons, and there's also good economical reasons to at least consider AVA. Now, for your information, this is the program structure for our BA program. If you are a JUPAS student, which means you will join us in year 1, you can see we have these green fields. All of these green blocks are AVA courses. All of these gray areas are GE courses. So if you join us in year 1, you will actually have only 4 courses at AVA, 2 theory courses and 2 practice courses. And the rest of the courses in year 1 are general education courses. That includes English language, Chinese language, but also, for example, physical education, mental health, mental well-being. There is public speaking. There's various interdisciplinary courses that you will have to take. And it makes sense that you take them in year 1 because they're supposed to help you to achieve better in the following courses afterwards. So in year one, we understand it may not be quite your expectation, but you will have relatively little visual arts, and mostly you will do kind of foundation courses in general education. But already in year two, as you can see, more than 50% of your courses will be in the visual arts. You will continue to do some required theory courses, but already in term one of year two, you will have the opportunity to develop skills. And those skills are essentially skills that you can choose yourself. So you can choose if you want to focus on painting, or you want to focus on photography, or on graphic design, or on illustration, or whatever it is you choose. You begin to choose your own profile, and you begin to develop your skills. And then in the second term of year two, you can take your first studio project. A studio is a 9-credit course, so it is a course with a very heavy workload. You're expected to spend 2 full days per week in your studio, and in that studio you use your skills, the skills that you have acquired before, to make your first big kind of meaningful art or design project, depending on what you want to do. Then in year three, first term, you have the opportunity to do even more skills. After you have the experience of the first studio, maybe you realize what you like and what you don't like. So then you can continue to develop your skills. You can get more skills. And then in the second term of year three, you do your second studio course. In parallel, you may do some more skills again. After, in year four, you do your third studio course. And again, you can do some more skill. You can learn some more skills. And then finally, in the final year of in the final term of your studies, you will do your honor project. In parallel, in year four, you will have 2 required courses. One of them is called the interdisciplinary practice for visual artists, and the other one is professional practice for visual artists. And these 2 courses are supposed to prepare you for the time after study. So those will include information and skills like how to write a proposal, how to set up a business, how to prepare a portfolio, a professional portfolio for your further career, and so on. So this is the visualization of our study program, and this is what you would have to go through if you join our AVA program. In AVA, we offer 2 concentrations. One of them is called Studio and Media Arts, and the other one is called Craft and Design. Studio and Media Arts in other schools may simply be called Fine Arts. This is what essentially a lot of people study who want to be artists. But actually also, this is the concentration that most people study who want to become teachers. So if you are maybe thinking about becoming a visual arts teacher in one of Hong Kong's schools, then most of them will take the Studio and Media Arts concentration. And then we have the Craft and Design concentration, which is mostly for those people who pursue a career in design. Within the Studio and Media Arts, we have 4 studio areas. We have drawing and painting, which is simply traditional Western drawing and painting. We have the Chinese arts, which is Chinese painting, but also Chinese calligraphy. We have the media arts, which includes video, photography, and sound, but also digital arts and sort of sensor-based applications. And then we have sculpture. For craft and design, we have the graphic arts, which includes graphic design and printmaking. We have glass and ceramics, which is simply glass and ceramics. We have object design, which includes jewelry, wearables, product design, and robotics. And then we have an area that is called experience design, which, by the way, is also my area. To give you a little bit of an idea about our staff, this is some small statistics about our teachers. We have in total at the moment 30 teachers, 30 full-time staff. They are quite precisely 50-50% male and female, so we have more or less equal opportunity. We have a very international staff. So as you can see here, our nationalities are from all around the world. I myself am from Germany, but you can see we have people from Australia, from France, Ireland, South Korea, Taiwan, US. So it's a very broad range of nationalities, which gives us a very international outlook. And as you can also see, we have pretty precisely half of our staff have PhDs, and the other half have MFAs as their final degrees, which essentially means we have pretty much equal proportion of people who are academically trained and people who are maybe more artistically trained. This is sort of some statistics about our classes. We have a staff-student ratio of 1 to about 13, which is exceptionally good. In the UK at the moment, they have about 1 to 33. So that is much lower than, or much less good than our ratio. Our average class sizes for practical courses, we have 17. For theory courses, it is 30. Again, compared with other programs in the world, that is actually a very good class size, very small, very personal supervision. In total, we currently have 404 BA students, so that's a small art school, but it's a big cohort for a BA program. If I may point out, and this is actually something I do think is a little bit problematic, we have currently almost 84% female students. So not so many male students. If there's any young men listening to me right now, please do apply. We need more men in this program. And you can see an average exit GPA of 2.98, which is essentially exactly a B, which is a very reasonable outcome. Yeah, not particularly high, but also not particularly low. This is just a really quite average sort of outcome. But actually for a visual arts program, still quite remarkable. So, as I said, I will show you a couple of works. This is an outcome from last year that is a painting piece. As you can see, it is not one painting, it's a whole series of paintings that are presented as an installation. This is a kind of a drawing piece. The student, she used charcoal, and as you can see, she also used burning charcoal and burning wood to do these drawings, and then that left these burn marks on the paper, which created this really nice texture. This is a piece in Chinese painting with the traditional Chinese technique. This is a media installation, including video as well as sound, experimental sound. That obviously makes it's more fun to see this in real, because you can actually appreciate the movement and the sound, but I can only show you a picture right now. This is, in the front, this is a sculpture piece produced by one of our students using metal steel tubing. And we can see a little bit in the back, there is another painting, traditional Western painting. This is what we call our print club, which essentially was a whole room of little magazines, comic books, flyers, produced by our printmaking studio. A very nice collection of little printed products, which I really liked. And then this is an example for a ceramic piece. So this is kind of like little ceramic spheres made of clay and then fired in our local kiln. Very delicate little clay balls. As you can see, they have these cracks like eggs that break open. A very romantic piece, I thought. This is an installation where the student was trying to capture the rainbow. And actually, as you can see, it worked really very nicely to kind of catch the sunlight and then to create rainbows on the wall. That was a very nice piece. Okay, so much about that. Now, as I said at the beginning, for all students who join HKBU, they also will have to take some non-major courses. It's simply a university requirement. They will make about 34 credits of your total credits. That's about 1/3, 33, 34% of the total credits of the program. For those non-major courses, you need to take 13 units in university core, which is essentially English language, Chinese language, health and well-being, and public speaking. And then you have to take 18 credits in general education, which are a variety of courses offered by other departments, and you have to take them as to broaden your horizon. And then you have the opportunity to take 13 units of free electives. The free electives essentially means you can literally do anything you like, including more AVA courses. So that means you are required to take 84 credits AVA, but you can actually take 97 credits at AVA if you use your free electives to do visual arts courses. But that's not a requirement, that is your choice. However, the free electives also offer you the opportunity to take a minor. A minor means that you take 15 credits from another program. So for example, we have quite a lot of students who take a minor in language. So for example, a minor in Japanese language or a minor in French language. But we also have students who, for example, take a minor in marketing or maybe take a minor in communication. So minors are actually a very interesting way how you can improve your employability by adding another set of skills to your visual arts major that will maybe give you a bit of an additional edge when you apply for any kind of job. So as I said, for example, if you want to work for an ad agency or for some marketing agency, then maybe to have a minor in marketing is a good idea, I could imagine. So the free electives you can either use for anything, either that includes you can use them for AVA courses, but it also means you could use them for a minor. It is up to you to make up your mind. In addition to the major and the minor, we offer a very big range of co- and extracurricular activities. In case you wonder, the difference between co- and extracurricular is co-curricular activities are credit-bearing, extracurricular activities are without credits. But even if they are without credits, it may still be a good thing to attend or to participate because you can still learn something. So for the co-curricular activities, we have a broad palette of international exchange programs with a range of universities from all around the world. Obviously, for the last 2 years, those were a little bit in jeopardy because of the COVID situation. But already this year, in the second term, we had more than 20 students go out into other countries again. So it looks as if we can start to do exchange programs again in the near future. We also do a lot of exhibitions internationally as well as locally. We have about 25 to 30 exhibitions every year on our own campus, and we do another maybe 3 to 5 exhibitions internationally. But again, the international exhibitions for the last 2 years were a little bit affected by the COVID. Every year we offer summer study trips to different countries. Usually there's always one trip to some place in Asia, and there's another trip to one place in Europe. Again, this year we will not offer that because of the COVID restrictions, but hopefully next year we can do that again. We have artist residencies where we invite young artists from other countries to come to stay at AVA and to work at AVA, and so that our students can actually see them and meet them and work together with them. We have a creative entrepreneurship program, which is essentially a business plan competition for our students to submit their proposals of what they would like to do as a business, and then they can get some funding for that. And then we offer work experiences, you may also call them internships, for the students to experience what they want to maybe do as a profession later, already during their studies. So a very broad set of activities that we believe provide the students with multiple opportunities and occasions to engage with the community, to engage with the international community, to get to know each other and also their teachers in different contexts, and thus to broaden their horizon and to broaden their study experiences. Now, for the career prospects, based on the graduate survey of 2020, which is 1 year before, you can see here what we have, what is the breakdown. Half a year, 6 months after graduation, 56% of our graduates had secured a full-time job. If I may say, that is actually very, very exceptional for visual arts programs. Most visual arts programs in the world have a much lower rate of full-time jobs after graduation. So 56%, we're actually quite happy with that. Then 12% set up their own business, which means they are self-employed. 9% have part-time jobs of some kind, and 8% pursue further studies. Of those people who did find a job, a full-time job, 46% of them went into the industry, which essentially means they work as designers. 37% went into education, which is usually they teach visual arts in one of the local schools. And 11% go into community and social services. So they usually work with some kind of NGO, kind of other social service to provide services to the community. That does not include the civil service. Civil service is a separate entity. So based on that, you can get a rough idea. So more than half of our students will have jobs. The other half, they will be self-employed or part-time employed or pursue further studies. And then about half of our graduates go into design, 40% go into education, and then the rest does some kind of community work, social service. Now, what is really interesting, and that is a very good news for AVA, the average first monthly salary of AVA students in 2020 was about 15,000 Hong Kong dollars. Now, to be honest, that may not seem a lot at the beginning. However, this is actually higher than the university average. So the average of HKBU graduates is something like 14,500. So it's 300, the average of the university is 300 below the AVA average. That's not a lot, but it is below. So the AVA graduates are actually doing better than the university average, which I think is really very impressive and quite unexpected. Everybody thinks if you study visual arts, you will be poor and starve to death, but it's actually not true. Our graduates do surprisingly well, and we're very happy for them. Okay, so much about this part. I would like to continue about the admission requirements. Now, generally speaking, we welcome students from all backgrounds. So it doesn't matter from which country or from which nationality you come, but also it doesn't matter from which kind of study background you come, whether it is the Hong Kong DSE, whether it is IB, GCE, SAT, JEE, or anything else from another country. Usually we will consider everything. everything is an acceptable in qualification, secondary qualification to join our program. However, depending which country you come from, it may be that additional English language qualification is required. But please note, only English language is required, not Chinese language. So if you are not good in Chinese, or if you come from a country where you don't have Chinese, then that is not a requirement to enter the university. But English is. Now, for those of you who enter through the JUPAS system, you will usually have the Hong Kong DSE as your final secondary degree. And for those, the general university entrance requirements are 3.3, 2.2, 3.3, which essentially means you have to have a minimum of a 3 in English and Chinese language, a minimum of 2 in mathematics and liberal arts, and a minimum of 3 in 2 more electives. So you must have at least 2 electives for which you have to have achieved a 3. And then the others, you have to have a 3.3, 2.2. But this is actually the same university requirement to, as much as I know, at every Hong Kong university. So that is no different to any other university or any other program at HKBU. We all have 3.3, 2.2, 3.3. However, at AVA, we additionally have our own admission exercise, which we call the AVA admission exercise. And I will explain that in more detail in a moment. So in our case, for the admission, we will count your previous academic score, which is mostly the Hong Kong DSE. That will count 50%. And then we have our own admission exercise, which will count another 50%. And then together, these 2 scores make 100%. And based on that, we will consider the admission to our program. We do that because we believe for a degree or for a career in the visual arts, you not only have to be good in academics, you also have to be good in, you also have to have creative talent. And usually, because a lot of the schools do not offer visual arts, and because a lot of the students do not take visual arts as the DSE subjects, we need to sort of make sure that you have the right talent to be able to be successful in a career in visual arts. So we have this additional AVA admission exercise, which counts for 50% on top of the academic score that you get from your school. As a quick remark, it's down here in the marginal. For those of you who joined through the JUPAS system, for our academic score, for the 50% that we take for the AVA requirement, we will take your 4 best DSE subjects plus English language. So you must take, we must take English language. English language is to us very important because we have to be able to communicate. And then we will consider your best 4 DSE subjects, no matter what they are. So that will be the academic score for the AVA requirement for the 50%, and then we have our own exercise for another 50%. As I said, we believe it is necessary to make sure that our students have the appropriate talent to pursue a career in the visual arts. And for that, we have created our own AVA admission exercise. That admission exercise has 3 parts. The first part is a portfolio review. The second part is a creative practical exercise. And the third is an interview. And for the portfolio, we essentially ask you to submit a set of your previous work. Based on that, we will invite you for a practical exercise. In the practical exercise, we're trying to assess your creativity and your wealth of ideas. And then later, we will invite you for an interview in which we want to learn more about your communication skills and your attitude. So every student, and there's no exception, every single student who joins AVA DA program must go through this exercise. All of you must submit a portfolio first, then you have to do the practical exercise, and then you have to attend the interview. If you miss any of these steps, you will automatically be excluded from the admission process. In this admission exercise, in all of the 3 parts, so I go back in the portfolio, the practical exercise, and also the interview, in all of these 3 parts, these are the criteria that we are looking for. We're looking for creativity and wealth of ideas. So simply, we're trying to see how creative are you, how interesting are your ideas that you have, how different are the ideas that you have. We then are looking for the capability to develop creative solutions. So this is essentially problem solving. When you have a problem, a creative problem, can you find the right techniques? Can you find the right ways to solve that problem? The capability to present personal creative ideas. So can you actually talk about your work? Can you present your work? Can you maybe show drawings of your work? So in any case, can you communicate with some other people, which is us, and explain to us your ideas and your practice? And then in the end, we're looking for your personal dedication, your attitude. Do you really want this? Are you really committed? Are you really engaged? Do you know what you're talking about? Those questions we are trying to also find out. So for all of these 3 exercises, in each of them, we always try to find out the same 4 things. So we're trying to be really thorough. We try to check the same 4 things over and over and over again until we feel that we really understand and really know you a little bit better. For the portfolio, which is the first step, the applicants are requested to submit 5 projects. 5 visual arts related projects. 4 of those projects are documentation of some of your creative work. So those are 4 artworks, or 4 design works, or 2 design works and 2 artworks, or 1 design work and 3 artworks, or whatever mixture, but 4 creative pieces we want to see. And then we want to see 1 written text from the area of art and design history, art and design theory, or some art and design criticism appreciation. Can also be cultural kind of studies or something like that. General is something maybe similar to what you're doing in your liberal arts courses at school. So for the portfolio, every single applicant must submit these 5 works, 4 practical works and 1 written text. And those 5 pieces, they will be reviewed by 2 teachers, everyone. 2 teachers separately will look at all of the work and they will give them scores. And then based on these scores, we will decide who to invite for the next step. And the next step is, oh no, this is not, the next step then is the creative practical exercise. And then after that comes the interview. Now, the portfolio submission is the first step. So essentially, I'm going to stop here, and I'm not going to tell you more detail about the next steps, because after you submitted the portfolio, if you submit the portfolio, we will then have more briefings similar to this, similar to today, but hopefully maybe in the future we can do it in person, where we will then take you step by step through the admission exercise, through the interview, to give you step-by-step information as it becomes needed. So at the moment, the most important thing you need to know is the first step to get into our admission is you need to prepare a portfolio. And for the portfolio, you need 4 creative outcomes, and you need 1 written text in English language. So those are the 5 pieces that you need to prepare, and you need to prepare them by around Christmas of next year. Then we will ask you to apply and to submit your portfolio after that. Now for the admission timeline. Firstly, here is a link for a longer video where you can see the whole exercise and all the details in more detail. If you like, you can simply take a screenshot of this URL, but also maybe Chanel, you can copy paste this link and put it into the chat right now, so then people can copy from there. And for those of you who have already applied this year, the interview and practical homework for those who have already submitted the portfolio this year, they will be due on the 22nd to 28th of June 2022, so later, about 1 month later. And then there is for a second batch for some extra, for students who are sick or who cannot join the first time, they will be invited to join us on the 1st of August to do the practical homework and the interview for this year. But that is only true for those students who have already submitted the portfolio earlier this year and who have already finished the first step. If you are new, if you're only to apply for the JUPAS next year, then these dates are not important for you at this moment. Now, this is for your information. This is the JUPAS admission mean score of the last couple of years. Please take this with a little bit of caution, because the UGC have changed their calculation in 2020. Until 2020, the calculation was 4C plus 1X, which essentially means the 4 core courses of the Hong Kong DSE plus 1 elective. So that is usually English, Chinese, Math, Liberal Arts plus 1 elective. And those were the 4C plus 1X results for AVA until 2020. But then starting from 2020, UGC is now calculating 4C plus 2X, which means plus 2 electives. And since then, we have a new calculation score. And only in 2020, we have both. But then since then, we only have 1. And as you can see, in 2021, our score actually went up. So we're now at 24.28. It has become a little bit more competitive to get into the Academy of Visual Arts. And this, I think, is my final slide. We do offer scholarships for particularly outstanding local students. So please note local students. If any of you apply with a mean score, which is this score here, of more than 28, then you will get a 4-year full scholarship, which is worth about 168,000 Hong Kong dollars. So that is, I think, a really good deal. But of course, it means you have to have a score of 28. If you have a score of 26 to 27, then you will get a one-off scholarship payment of 30,000 Hong Kong dollars, 30,000 Hong Kong dollars. And if you don't have that, but if you have any 5 double-star or 5-star subjects as your best 5 subjects, then for each of the 5 stars, 5 double-star, you will get 2,000 Hong Kong dollars, and for each of the 5 stars, you will get 1,000 Hong Kong dollars. So essentially, you have to calculate how much that is in your particular case. So there is some incentive for those of you who have very good academic results that you may want to apply, or you may go for some of our scholarships and join us through that. And here is an overview of some more information sources. We have a very nice Instagram account. We also have a Facebook account that we use regularly to post our information. I would like to encourage you, however, also to look at our website. From our website, We have links to our YouTube page where we have actually quite a lot of videos about our studios, about our graduation shows, about the work that our students do, about some activities that we have at AVA. So if you want to simply get more information about life at AVA, then please find us through our homepage. And I believe that is it for me for now. And may I ask, is there time for some questions, Chanel? Then wonderful. Then if you had any questions, I would be happy to try to answer any questions.
We have some questions in the chat box.
Okay, then let me check this. Okay, there's one question. Is there any advantage for students taking VA as one of the electives in DSE? Not directly, no. We do not consider if you have the VA in the DSE that you get some priority or something like that. No, we don't. As I said, a lot of the schools in Hong Kong actually don't offer VA, so we don't feel it is fair for those schools who may want, for those applicants who want to take it, but they can't take it because they simply don't have it. So we don't want to put those at a disadvantage. But of course, if your VA course is one of your top 4 courses, your top 4 grades, then of course that will be good for you as part of the score calculation. So in that sense, hopefully, if you are interested in visual arts, you will be good in visual arts. And if you're good in visual arts, you will get a benefit because we count that as one of the 2 electives for the score calculation. And then, can I know more about the practical homework submission, which is a part of the online portfolio submission, but is due on the 1st of June? Okay, so I have to be a little bit more precise. The practical homework is not part of the portfolio, but it is the next step after the portfolio. So essentially, let me go back some slides. After you have done the portfolio, and after the portfolio was reviewed and has, and we think it is good enough, we will invite you for the practical exercise. Usually, the practical exercise we do on campus, but this year, as also last year, because of the COVID, we turn it into a practical homework. So essentially, the person who asked this question probably already got the homework assignment, which is a small assignment. If you didn't get it, then, oh no, I think you will get it on the 1st of June, I believe. So the homework should be sent to you soon. And then the homework will have 3 parts. One of them is idea finding, which is kind of like a brainstorming exercise. One of them is about making something, which means we will ask you to produce a small work based on some topic that we give you. And then we will ask you to write a small text, a small reflection of what you have done and why you have done it. So there's 3 parts that you have to do for that practical exercise. The practical exercise you will receive, as just said before, just a second, here's the dates. The interviews this year will be on the 22 to 29 of June. And then the practical homework, we will send out the information about 10 days before this. So around mid-June, like let's say June 12th or something like that. Maybe June 12th to June 15. I'm not sure exactly what the date is this year. So at that point, we will send out the practical homework so that you can complete it in time for the interview. I am not aware that we actually have a deadline on 1st of June. So I'm not sure what you mean by the deadline is June 1st. Chanel, do you know? So I'm not sure where you got that deadline due on 1st of June. I'm not sure about that. It mentions on the page that the deadline is 1st of June. On which page? Could you put the link into the Okay, we will check that. For this person, I don't know, KHUA USH. Let us check. I can't answer your question right now. I don't know what this June 1st deadline is. There is a question by another student. I want to ask if I have just rearranged the HKBU arts program to band A a few days ago. Will I still have an opportunity to join the interview session? Yes, you will. For students like this, we will have the interviews on the 1st of August. So your interviews will be a little bit later. I understand that there's usually a couple of students who will change their band distribution late, and they will, so we have this extra opportunity here in August for those students, because you will still have to do the portfolio and you will still have to do the practical exercise also. As I said, every student, every applicant must do all 3 steps, not only the interview. So that's why if you only change the band recently, it is not enough time to finish, to do the portfolio and all that kind of thing by June. So for those students, we will have it in early August. May I ask if students who put this subject in band B will not receive the email about uploading the portfolio? Yes, you will not. Every year we get around 3,500 applications for all the bands. We have about 1,000 applications for band A. As you probably know, we only have 40 places, 40 places to give away. So if we have 1,000 band A applications, that is already far too many for only 40 places. So we will not consider band B applications for the whole admission. So if you want to join AVA, you must put us into band A. What if a student does not have enough arts projects? Well, in that case, you still have 6-7 months to make some more. You need to have 4 projects. Or may I be a bit more precise? Actually, you don't have to have 4 projects. If you only have 2 projects, you can also only submit 2 projects. But every project will have like 20 points. It's 100 points in total. You have 5 projects, so every project will get 20 points. If you only have 2 projects, even if your project is most brilliant, you will only get 20 points, which means you have 40 points total, and that is not enough to get past the portfolio. So it's not a requirement to have 4 practical projects, but if you don't have 4 practical projects, it's going to be very, very difficult to get past the portfolio. So please, you still have time. If you apply for next year, the application deadline is in December. The portfolio deadline is sometime in, I think, in early March, like around 5 March. So you still have a lot of time to produce a couple of more works. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Any more questions? It seems not. In which case, I think Charlotte is waiting, isn't she? No?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you're not? Okay.
She will be in the next session at 4 p.m.
Oh, okay. She will be in the next session at 4 p.m. Okay. So for those of you who would like to know more, Charlotte, who is not on now, but who will be here at 4 p.m., as well as Kwan, are two of our graduates, and they will be sharing their experiences at AVA at another session at 4 p.m. So there you can actually hear the actual student perspective, the actual student experience. Charlotte, Kwan, if you say anything bad, you are in trouble.
I will.
So please do join Charlotte and Kwan at 4 p.m. in about 1 hour time. If you would like to have some more experience, some more information about their experience, they have also done the same admission process as I am just told you about now. The process has not changed for the last 10 years, so they have pretty much the same experience. So you can ask them about the study program, you can ask them about the admission process. They should be able to share their own experience, and that may be actually very helpful. So please join us again at 4 p.m. And now is your very last chance to ask a question. And apparently there is none. In that case, thank you very much to all of you who have joined this afternoon. I hope you will consider AVA for your future studies. If you have any more doubts, please join Charlotte and Kwan at 4 p.m. And then please do stay tuned, connect to our website, look at the information, and hopefully we will receive your applications in the late December 2021. No, 22, sorry, 22. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Peter. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.